Greetings, fellow clarinetophiles. In this video, I hope to sum up basically the implications and the reasoning that you should come up with from observing the previous two videos. And to do that, I'd like to start by reviewing a few things from Russell Harlow's little monograph that's very excellent that I alluded to in the analysis of Harold Wright, his embouchure mechanics. Several videos ago, I'm not sure which one that, but it's not too many videos, a few months ago. Anyway, in the essay, Harlow talks about working with Harold Wright with reeds. He went there to learn French embouchure, but there's no way that you can really talk about learning French embouchure properly without actually talking about reeds, because reeds are absolutely essential to stop the abuse of biting. Anyway, he says that the salient phrase that Harold Wright used when he described a reed that played correctly is, he says, the sound's got to be there. In this video, I'm going to try to explain what Harold Wright means by saying that the sound has to be there. All right. Essentially, it means that the reed has to be balanced in such a way that when you release the air, the sound is right there. Basically, what you're doing is you're presenting the sound that the reed provides. You're not really creating it per se. You're presenting it. And if the reed is correctly balanced and everything, that sound is going to be good. It's going to be there. Okay? That's the really salient point. You're not creating it. You're not squeezing on anything. I'll say if you're squeezing on anything, it's going to be the air. And I'm not talking about squeezing in the tummy here. I'm talking about squeezing the air between the tongue and the roof of the mouth to speed that air up and to enliven that air with the created venturi of the tongue position moving up and back toward the roof of the mouth. That's going to speed up your air and energize your air. But the embouchure itself doesn't squeeze. Harold Wright told me, he said, after a concert, a bunch of clarinet players were hanging around him, and we asked him about the reed, and he said, well, fellas, all I've got to say is the reed's got to be balanced. And I thought, well, let me write that down. I never heard that before. Okay. I've always been kind of sarcastic. Yes. Obviously, it has to be balanced, but what does that mean? Okay? What it means, essentially, is that when you put equal pressure, when you put pressure on the reed, you get an equal response from both sides, the left and right side of the reed. That's what it means, is the reed, left to right, has an equal response to the one energy, or the one pressure that you can apply to the reed as a composite of air and embouchure. All right? So you're going to be squeezing the air with the tongue. But what does the embouchure do? It's absolutely essential in playing double lip, or actually playing anything else, is that the jaw be down. Now, I see a lot of clarinet players with the jaw up. All right? You look at a really great trumpet player, you look at a great French horn player, you look at a great trombone player, nobody plays with the jaw closing up except bad clarinet players that are playing bad reeds, and they're having to play they're having to bite to make those bad reeds work. And so they clamp down and close the jaw. Biting is not biting down this way, it's biting up with the jaw, putting pressure on the reed. And if you have to do that, even the smallest amount, then your reed is not balanced, and it's going to force you into doing bad things. Now, I went through this demonstration. First, I balanced reeds in that first video of these three. Then in the second video, I put, I don't know, I've got the reeds right here. I got about 20 reeds from different brands and different times and all that. And I balanced them all. And I wasn't saying, oh, that's bad because the cane is bad. No. Not every reed is going to be a Carnegie Hall reed, but you can make every reed be the best it can be. These reeds are in the Army, okay, and they're being the best they can be if you balance them structurally properly to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get a good shot of just my embouchure mechanics, and I'm going to just start to produce tones on a balanced setup. It's not a great reed, it's not a Carnegie Hall reed, it's not a perfect reed by any means, but it's a balanced setup that I can play comfortably, and here's the important, correctly. Because playing unbalanced reeds are going to cause you to play incorrectly. They're going to cause you to have to bite. Even though you can get your chin down, you're still biting because you can see the bulge in the lips here, and you're biting, you're forcing that reed, and the reason you do it is because you're a bad person. No, it's not. It's because the reed is a bad reed. It's not properly balanced, and you have to bite to make it respond. And look, if the reed is too hard or unbalanced, you're going to have to bite to make it work. If the reed is too soft, you're going to have to bite to substitute for the lack of resistance in it, and so you're going to have to bite there. So if the reed's too soft, you're going to have to bite. If it's unbalanced, you're going to have to bite. If it's too hard, you're going to have to bite. But a balanced reed, you don't have to do that, okay? What you're going to see me do is you're going to see my jaw drop, okay? The mouth is open, and I'm creating an aperture or a context, or you might say a little stage. I'm rolling back the curtain. I'm creating a little stage, and I'm bringing up the air from my lungs, and I'm bringing the reed up to just seal on the lips. And I'm going to try to get the shot so you can see how the sound starts, and you can see that all I'm doing, I'm not closing the jaw, I'm not squeezing. All I'm doing is once I seal my lips around the reed, again, without the jaw rising or closing at all, I'm just going to bring up the air to meet the reed. Okay? So that's the demonstration I'm going to try to perform, and hopefully it'll help you get an idea of at least how a balanced reed should perform. Because after all, you've got to be able to recognize what a balanced reed really is, and how to recognize it when you stick it in your mouth and start to make sound on it. So that's what we're going to try to do. So the next thing you're going to hear and see is me trying to do this, and hopefully it'll be helpful. I just form your embouchure first, create the opening, bring the horn, and just let the lips seal, and breathe into the horn. I'm not squeezing, I'm just sealing. No biting, no squeezing. The opening, if I need a little more a little more pressure on the reed mouthpiece wedge, I just gently lift. So there you go. You can see that the sound is basically built in to the reed. The structure and everything is as such. The tip is well balanced. Tip area is well balanced. It's easy to get air through. There's no need to close to center the sound or clarify the sound or anything. You simply seal the lips, and if you need a little more focus, you lift. Always bring the horn to the face. Never bring the face to the horn. It's a disaster. Every time this closes, you kill the sound. But you have to kill the sound. You have to close if the reed is poorly balanced and the sides are not responding identically. See, that's the idea. So if they're responding identically, then the sound is there. Just the slightest puff of air, boom, and it responds. And yet there's and I stay open. This is pulled open, and that window doesn't close. That window that enables the air to meet the reed, it doesn't close. So you have to build the reeds so that they speak like that. You know, don't conform to bad equipment. Don't conform to bad reeds that are poorly balanced, because they will ruin your embouchure mechanics, your tone production mechanics, and cause you to do all kinds of things you shouldn't have to do just to make bare minimum performance. Right? What you want to do is you want to set your equipment up, your reed mouthpiece equipment up, the most important thing that there is in terms of your tone production. You want to set that equipment up so that you can play with efficiency behind your nose. You can play with the correct mechanics. So the sound is there. The sound is there. As soon as you put the there's no closing whatsoever. So that's the message, and that's what these previous two videos have been basically about, is showing you how to use these tools here to easily structure. But you have to practice like everything else. It's a practice. It's a performance art, and riding a bicycle is a kind of a performance art, and no one people can describe about keeping balance and all, but nothing's going to work for you unless you get on and practice and feel what it's like. Everything, when you're playing the clarinet, your embouchure, you have to feel what everything is right. You have to feel when everything is right. You have to feel, yeah, that's getting the results. That's getting the good results. It's the same way with working on the reeds. You learn by doing. You learn by doing. You can be given hints, like I've given you basically a kind of workflow that's, do this and then retest and rinse and repeat. But you have to get in and do that workflow. It's not mechanical, and you have to think about it. And you have to be sensitive to the testing, sensitive to the results you're getting, cause and effect. And by that, then you learn the process internally so that it's really useful to you.